Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
Seva is giving back to the community and making sure that the community is taken care of. We do a lot of that at our temples and in the Punjabi community, and that's how I see the store. So it's a no-frills thing to do.
The new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger.
Let's go.
Juicy grass-fed beef, topped with Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips.
Let's go!
Let's go! Try the new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger. Let's go.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
Well, good afternoon and welcome back to King City. It's a bit of a frigid, cold autumn, fall day, whichever way you want to call it. Andrew Leonard here alongside Matt Bonner.
You can literally feel the shift in temperature when a cloud goes over the sun. That's for sure.
And we are all set for the start of this second innings. It's going to be 158 runs required to win. Sampal Kami's got the new ball in hand, and Aki Bilias is on strike. And he starts aggressively, hits it on the up through the offside. Powdell leads a trio of Nepali fielders herring after it, and they'll keep it to a couple. Matt, that was a highly entertaining first innings, wasn't it? There was an awful lot going on.
It really was. So many different shifts in momentum. Action-packed plays on offense and defense. I mean, you got to think if you're Oman, you got to really be aggressive during these power play overs. They can get hot, put up a big score. It'll make things really interesting.
Now, this has gone miles into the sky. It's Bim Sharkey who's not going to get there. In fact, I'm just going to check that. It's Bim Sharkey's shirt. It might be Sandeep Lamachani. I think if we can just get a look at the fielder, 54 there at mid-on, it might actually be Sandeep Lamachani wearing the wrong jumper. He might have left the jumper at the team hotel. Just going to see if we can get a look at mid-on.
It says number 54.
It looks visually like Sandeep Lamachani, though. It is. He's absolutely duped me with that 54 shirt number on. There he is.
Are you allowed to do that?
Well,
in the NBA, if you do that, it's a technical foul.
Is that right? So what would happen then? It's definitely Sandeep Lamachani. I think he's forgotten his jumper. I suspect if he takes his jumper off, it'll then show his correct number, which obviously everyone knows is 25. But there he is. He's got the wrong jumper on.
I didn't know you could do that in cricket. I learned something new every broadcast.
So what happened? What was your number, your career number?
On the Spurs, it was number 15.
So if you had 15 on for, let's say, the whole game, and I don't know, you got an elbow to the face and it got bloody or something.
They have a backup jersey with a 15 on it.
But you wouldn't be allowed to get back out there with number 12 on or something, no?
No, I don't think so. Or maybe you do, but it's a technical foul, which means a free throw for the other team.
So that's a free throw for the other team?
Yeah.
Wonder has that ever happened in the NBA?
Not that I've known of. Yeah, I mean, yeah, occasionally someone will forget their shorts or jersey and rip off their warm-ups and yeah, whoops.
Well, it is definitely, we can 100% confirm it is Sandeep Lamachani at mid-on there, but he's got Bim Sharkey's jersey on him. I'd presume that Sharkey come on as a replacement because we can only see his back from our position, as this one's steered down to deep third for a single.
At this level of cricket, do they have an equipment manager or are they doing their own laundry?
It would tend to be the team manager. You spoke to me about his role the other day. It's a real kind of administrative one, and you'll tend to you'll get him running the team bus. He'll run the laundry schedules. He'll often, one of his main jobs will actually be to give all the players a daily running order. So what's happening that day? What time are we heading to training? What time is breakfast? So it's more the logistics and the running of the team as opposed to anything kind of cricket specific or technical or tactical. And a lot of the major teams, particularly like in Australia and England and India in recent times, they're moving more and more towards kind of very professional people in those positions. Historically, it was maybe a 60-year-old former player who was a blazer. He'd come along and give a bit of a speech and maybe have a drink in the bar. But now it's a very professional role.
Yeah, I bet it's an important role. You're having to manage a lot of logistics, that's for sure. Everyone out there has lost something in the laundry before, so who knows?
Could be taken.
Ooh.
And it's put down. It's Kushal Bertel of all people, who I reckon up there next to Dipender Singh Ari is one of the best fielders going around.
It looked like he had it.
We're not sure if you're going to get a replay of this.
Now, so the umpire.
Get one more look at it here. And it did carry to him, didn't it? It went all the way into his hands. And we'll just get a look here now. Sorry, you are finally going to see it. Aki Bilias has picked out Kushal Bertel perfectly in the deep. It's popped in and popped out. Not an easy chance, but it should have been taken. End of the first over, 8 for none.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
Ridge Dakal. It's going to be to open up the bowling. How big a moment could that be, Matt Bonner? Big drop catch.
Yeah, especially during the power play to get a wicket like that. Could have been a huge advantage to Nepal. Unfortunately, opportunity missed. You see how the umpire is holding a Nepal jersey? Why is that?
So that there is the bowler's jersey. He doesn't want to bowl with the restriction of kind of having that sweater, the sleeveless jumper on top.
Gotcha.
So it's actually hilariously, it's something that came out of the game during COVID. One of the kind of ways we played through bubble times was trying to minimize contacts. You weren't allowed to give your cap or your jersey to the umpires. You had these surreal scenes. It was often the captain who had to put on an extra jumper, or sometimes even not just wear 2 caps, sometimes 3 caps if the keeper was up to the stumps like Asif Sheikh is now. I'm glad those days are behind us, man. I won't lie.
We realize that's probably not how you get COVID.
Right into the block hole. Yeah, I'm just going to show you a little shot of it here, Matt. It was Owen Morgan, the English captain. I'm pretty sure it was Jos Buttler as keeper and Adil Rashid as bowler, who ended up with 3 caps, not just 2 on his head. Totally, he just looks ludicrous.
Got to do what you got to do, Lenny.
What do you reckon of that?
Taking one for a team. I like the New Balance.
Yeah, good gear.
That's what I used to wear when I played.
One of the finest players in the modern white ball game. And you're going to get a kick out of this story, Matt. You probably have never heard this one. Owen Morgan was a fine left-handed batter and great fielder, brilliant captain, maybe one of the best captains. Born in Rush in North County, Dublin. But as you just saw in the little video I showed you, you can imagine which team he was representing there.
England.
Correct. Went on, he did play for Ireland, made his ODI debut at 16 for Ireland, scored 99 on it, but went over to play professionally in Middlesex, which would be like one of the NBA franchises in the UK. And having served the qualification period, he was that good that England came to him and said...
They poached him.
They literally poached him. You're spot on the money. And what's more, England, who had never won a 50 overs World Cup in their history, they did win one T20. This goes miles up. Deep square legs out there. It's Kushal Bertel again. And this time he holds on. And there won't be a man in the ground who is more relieved than that who has just taken the catch. It's not the big one of Aki Bilias, but it is Prajapati, and Rijan Dakal has the first breakthrough for Nepal.
Redemption, Lenny. Redemption. You fall off, you get back on that horse. That's what we saw right there. That's about as far as you can hit it as well without exceeding that boundary. Warning track catch. sky high, too.
He's actually got a good piece of it, hasn't he? It's come almost out of the middle of the bat, but it's 68 metres, I reckon, out there to that very deepest part. I'll tell you something, Kushal Bertel will have been nervous under that because he dropped Aki Bilias in the first over. This time he hangs on. That's more relief for Rijan Dakal than exuberant celebration. And Prajapati's horror run of form, it continues. He just can't get anything going in 2024. He's gone for 2. It's 9 for 1.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard unless Oman can get something going here in these power play overs. So far stymied by this Team Nepal defense and bowling. But they got to pick the efficiency up for sure.
Going to be Shoaib Khan to continue in this new role for him at number 3. He's had some decent returns as well. Good numbers in this series. Maybe not quite scored as quickly as Oman would like. Slip in place. Tell me about that warning track analogy you used there. That's something they have in baseball.
In American baseball, up against the wall in the outfield, the grass ends and is like a dirt track before you get the wall. So that way, if you're going backwards,
so that's where the home runs go. The very end of the playing time. Yeah.
So like if you're going backwards to the wall, when you as a fielder you can't look to see where the wall is. So you know when your feet hit the warning track, you're about to hit the wall. So you don't just run full speed into it.
And was that always in place, or did that kind of come into place because there was probably some incidents?
It's always been in place since I've been alive. I mean, it's an old sport. Who knows back in the day?
End of the second over. Oman lose their first. It's 9 for 1.
Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
So, a daunting target to chase in maybe not the easiest batting conditions here in King City. Nepal hunting down a second win of this No Frills T20 Cup. They weren't able to beat Canada in either of their 2 clashes. But the key, as always, for Oman will be that man on strike, Aki Bilias. He's been dropped once in the first over. And you would sense that if Nepal could get him in the first half of the innings, let alone if they got him in the power play, the game's going to be heavily weighted then to the men from the Himalayas.
Yeah, I mean, Oman's already way behind the 8 ball. Only 9 runs in the first 2+ overs during the power play. That's not the score rate, the run rate they're looking for to catch this score that Nepal put up in the first half. Hopefully I didn't just put the commentary. What is it? The commentary curse.
Commentator's curse. Curse. It's actually a big thing in cricket. There's been some.
I should not have said that.
There's been some iconic instances of it. Maybe the greatest of all time was, sadly, maybe the best, certainly the best spin bowler of the history of cricket, and maybe the greatest marketer of our game. They called him Hollywood. Shane Warne from Melbourne in Australia, St Kilda is where he grew up, and we lost him at the age of 52. He just dropped dead suddenly, died in his sleep in Thailand on a holiday. Had just arrived in the previous day, was asleep and never woke up. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about him, but there was the most brilliant instance of this commentator's curse I'll tell you about now. He was on air with Mark Nicholas. He wasn't just a fine bowler, but he went on to a marvellous broadcasting career. And David Warner was on strike, who's a very famous Australian opening batter. Mark Nicholas was the lead commentator, and he says to Shane Warne, the analyst, or the colour, the role you're doing now, he says, David Warner, he's never been out in the 90s in his career. What happened? And Shane Warne, because they had the commentary camera, you didn't see it first, but then they packaged it up. He's hit him, and he's gone, what are you saying? You can't say that. As down the ground goes Shoaib Khan.
There we go. We're talking about the commentary curse. Hopefully that's not what I just did.
And that's all the way for 6. A really good strike. And what happened in this David Warner incident was literally the next ball. David Warner, for the first time in his career, got out in the 90s as good footwork allowed can to access straight down the ground, where again it's just the best place to hit
that's
here.
the way she
Kinsey.
goes. And look, I just said Oman can't get anything going, and we get a sixer. So
Right on cue. Absolutely right on cue. Edged, the slip has just come out, and it could have been a catching opportunity, but instead, really good foot movement by Dev Canal down there at deep third to keep it to just a single. But they packaged this up in the most brilliant way, went completely viral, and
sure.
yeah, there is actually, of course, no correlation, but in cricket,
But is there?
there's a massive, massive belief in superstition.
Yeah, it's like an X-Files episode. In basketball, we always do it with free throws. Like, Steph Curry has made 33 free throws in a row. If you say that, guarantees missing the next one.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah,
Exact same thing.
same exact thing.
Quick single. Powell picks up cleanly, direct
Ooh.
hits. Exceptional fielding. Arnold Medella was in a good position, but actually all it's going to end up doing is conceding the one overthrow, because they're allowed to run off the ricochet off the stumps. Now, we saw one yesterday that Nepal felt they should have been given. How close was this?
It's a heck of a throw.
Now, did Aki Bilias get the bat down in time? It's a slightly lazy
he
bit of
did.
running, but he did. And fantastic swift work from Rohit Powell. Gets us to the end of the third. 19 for 1.
And we serve local.
Breakfast program, school program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
Over 8 runs required per over, as Oman have had a little bit of a slow start in this chase. Now, there's some of the teammates watching on. One of the great superstitions in our game, in any run chase, if things are going well, you do not move. The coach will tell you,
Obviously.
stay where you are.
Yeah, I mean, I could have told you that. Manny. That goes for anything. You don't change any. Your team's winning, you wear that same outfit the next game.
Pulled away. Now, let's see the speed of Dipendra Singh Airi. He may well create half a chance here. No, he won't quite. Aki Bilias is quick enough to get back. That outfield there, very uneven. One thing that Arsalan Kadir just pointing out to us, because this is the first left-arm bowler we've had bowl from this end, Rijan Dakal, he's having to run through that heavy patch of sawdust on his run-up. So as he goes, it's definitely not going to be that easy. It's a bit uneven, and that's one of the areas of concern, meaning that we had that 45 minutes delayed start.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever run on sawdust before. There it is.
Goes up into the air. The keeper calls for it, comes underneath it, and takes the catch. Dakal's got 2. He is pumped up in a big way. Asif Sheikh, at first, I don't think he gauged where it was, but ultimately, he's hung on. Cam was looking to go down the ground again. It wasn't full enough in length. Nepal, they've got 2 in the power play.
In any momentum Oman was looking to create with the bat, dashed with that one right there. Take a look at the throw. Just popped straight up. Pretty routine. The only thing that made me nervous, you had 3 different guys that could have possibly got it. That's where communication comes in handy.
Yeah, absolutely critical, and ultimately, almost always, if the keeper can get there, the man with the gloves on, he is the one that you want to take it. Shoaib Khan has gone for a very short stay at the crease, 9 off 7. Here's that patch we were talking about. Very, very heavy, just outside of the protective areas of the covers. And it means that Dakal, he's really the only one. He's the only left-arm fast bowler in the team. If Sampal Kami was to come around the wicket from that end, he'd have to go through it as well. But pretty good skills to be able to just plough on through it and still deliver your ball where you want to.
Probably takes them back to like when they were kids playing cricket and who knows what, you know.
Oh, what a start
deep
from Zishan Maksud. A slog sweep.
Watch out, fans.
Shorter side and into the bleachers. It's a maximum from his very first ball for Zishan Maksud.
That was a deep shot right there into the stands. Hopefully it didn't knock someone's drink out of their hand. Take a look. Just strong snap of the swing.
It's What's most impressive about that, Matt, he's taken it from outside off stump. If that was kind of into his pads, he'd be helping it around with the angle, but he's actually kind of swung across it, maybe just a bit too full from Rajan Dakal.
That's right. And fans not allowed to keep the ball.
No, big difference to baseball.
Yes.
If they did, I think cricket would be bankrupt. Each one of those new balls costs about, well, €80, $100.
Come on.
Yeah.
For one ball?
Brand new Kookaburra, yeah. I think
Wow.
probably even if, here in Canada, probably 140.
Well, I know how to get rich. I'm just going to start a company that makes cricket balls and sell them for €60.
There we go. Guided away, finds the gap. Really good start, lovely start from Maksoud, who can start slowly. Now Irie and Bertel getting themselves in bother. This outfield is so difficult, it's so heavy. Just ramped up over his hand. And neither of these two are particularly quick between the wickets, but they'll pick up 2 more runs to the total.
Picking up some momentum with the bat in this over. 10 runs already with 2 more balls to go.
Another slog sweep, and it's going to be another monster straight into the bleachers. Dakal, he's been taken apart from the first 3 deliveries he's bowled to Zishan Maksoud. 6-2-6. Counter punch from a man here in the power play.
Yep, literally silencing the Nepalese fans. Just taking it right to them. Going to the bleachers once again. Look at that. Moonshot. Look at the power. See ya.
Incredibly similar to the first 6. It's a similar line, it's a similar length, just a bit too full. And Rohit Powdell is having to find a way to counteract this. I think the ball has gone missing. It's gone somewhere under the bleachers over there.
16 runs with 1 more ball to go in this over. This is exactly what Oman needed.
Yeah, and certainly Zishan Maksoud, historically, if you think back to his kind of when he burst onto the international scene, the 2015 T20 World Cup qualifier in Ireland and Scotland, he was an opening batter. He was coming in right at the top and he swung at everything. But his career has taken a turn to a point where he's really a middle order player who likes to nudge it around and bowl his left arm spin. He didn't bowl back then much, but he definitely has it in the locker. It's deep in the locker. But he is saying, well, if we don't go after things in the power play here, there's no way that we can win. Good recognition of the conditions from Zishan Maksoud. And you would have to suspect, despite the 2 wickets, this might be the last over of Rajan Dakal for now. Have put more protection out there. Deep backward square leg and deep mid-wicket go out. It's the shorter side of the ground. Career strike rate 119 for Maksoud in T20I. Now, he's just happy to check it down. It is the 16 runs from the over and the wicket too. Action aplenty in King City, 35 for 2.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. TD, ready for you.
So, a quick look at the standings here. Matt, gotta leave you. It's going to be my last stint with you, my last over with you. Devastated to hear you're flying out tomorrow. Been so much fun having you with us. Do want to ask you for one prediction.
Okay.
Okay, I think you fancy Nepal to win this one, but who's going to win this No Frills T20 Cup? All to play for, isn't it?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me look at this net rating here.
I'll help you with the net run rate. I think if Nepal win today and Oman were to win tomorrow, I think Nepal's net run rate will be good enough.
Yeah, I think I agree. Given that run rate, I'm going with Team Nepal. My adopted team. I still root for Canada, everybody.
What about...
I got 2 teams I can follow now.
Well, that's great, isn't
I'll
it?
be following Team Canada and Team Nepal.
You can have a little soft spot for Team USA as well.
Talk smack to all the British and Australian cricket fans in the GTA.
So, back live with you now. And Gulshan Jazz come into the attack. It was a surprise to not see him bowl yesterday, wasn't it? Given that in every game that he's bowled in, he's taken wickets and he's had such a good series. Do you think that Nepal are reading this as a pitch that's going to help their fast bowlers rather than their spinners?
I think so. I think they're making adjustments on the fly given the conditions. You talk about, and that's the captain's call, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There might be a few instructions from the coach kind of either before the start of the game or in the mid-innings interval.
You know, the coach isn't the one out there on the pitch experiencing the conditions, so the best intel you can get is from the players.
Beautiful sunshine now coming across King City as this is chipped over the infield to the shorter side now. Can Irie get there? Oh, ooh. I'm not so sure. I think for me on first viewing, that should have been 4. We'll have a look at the replay. Depender Singh Irie,
I think
he's going to save 2. And it's not been given as a boundary. The replay is going to be fascinating.
Look at this hustle.
Look at the speed of Irie.
Yeah, the afterburners.
Should have been 4.
Yep, should have been 4.
So his foot was in contact with the Coca-Cola boundary hoarding. In a bigger broadcast, that would go to a boundary check.
Yep.
Oh man, robbed of a couple of runs.
Well, hey, the Team Nepal fans were upset with some of the calls yesterday. Karma.
They get one back.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's 2 runs in their favour. I think probably Depender Singh Irie's reputation as well. The umpires have seen, it's Irie, he's so fast, he's probably got there.
Exactly. Always get the benefit of the doubt when you have a good reputation like that.
Yeah, it was an exceptional effort. It was just, you could see how heavy the outfield is though, is his spike. So all of the players, they've kind of got, I don't know how to describe them, they're kind of metal spikes into the bottom of their, even though they're kind of athletic runners. I'm going to show you a shot of it here. Back at Ja and put down.
That had to hurt.
Now run out chance if Powell could have picked up cleanly. Let's hope most importantly Gulshan Jazz all right. That was struck ferociously by Zishan Maksud, and it comes in and comes out and just goes down.
I was wondering when I was going to see something like that. Just a liner right back to the bowler.
Have seen some really nasty incidents of fast bowlers being hit in their follow through because look, the head goes down initially. You have less than a split second.
Yeah, he almost caught that.
He had a great effort on it. Yeah, great effort on it. Nepal guilty, just getting a little bit full for my liking. Their seamers need to drag that length back. Right on top of the stumps this time. That's a better length. Just showing you the cricket spikes there, Matt. You get a sense that they're probably very different to, I suppose, rugby studs are a little bit similar.
Yeah,
boots.
Those look like you could climb Mount Everest, like ice picks or something.
It's a good shout, that. I do want to leave you with one thing. I know you mentioned the White Mountains in New Hampshire. Highest elevation there where you're from, 1917. 8 of the 14 8,000 plus peaks in the world belong to Nepal. How amazing is that?
It's insane. It is amazing. I'd love to see it in person someday as a mountain guy.
I'm going to give you one last word because I know we're coming off now.
Yes.
You've got to watch that 14 Peaks on Netflix if you haven't yet.
I have not.
A Nepalese adventurer, mountaineer, goes to climb all 14 peaks. I think it's within the one calendar year. Nobody had ever done more than 2 in a year or something. Extraordinary story, as that will get us to the end of the 5th over. We'll have a commentary change. Want a bit of fond farewell to Matt Bonner. Thank you for everything. It's
Thank
40
you.
for 2.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
Hello, Matt.
Hello. I'm trying to stay, I've been sitting here in the shade of this broadcast tent for a while now.
You must be frozen.
My nose is starting to run.
I'm trying to get that unorthodox sweep out a la Achibilias. Yeah, I can see why you'd be frozen, and it's pretty chilly in this tent. Quite lovely in the sun, but
I'll survive.
we're going to have a quick concussion check here. Just making sure the players are okay.
Asking him how many fingers. That's what my dad used to say to me when I was growing up. I get hit in the head. How many fingers? You're fine.
Always want to make sure that that head is protected.
Yeah.
Both helmets on at the moment. Dipender Singh Ari coming into the attack.
The amount of science that has come out on concussions over the last 15, 20 years makes me wonder, all those years playing basketball where that didn't exist. Getting elbowed in the mouth, elbowed in the nose, elbowed in the head.
What about that
But
sport
so far
where you
I'm fine,
slap,
right?
where you slap your opposition? What's that called?
Where you slap the
Yeah,
opposition?
it's like a slapping contest. You slap them
Oh,
across
the slap
face.
league? Yeah, that doesn't look like a good time to me.
Well, there was an article that came out. I think I read it a couple of weeks ago that said, there's serious injuries to the brain from that. They call it a sport.
Yeah, do you need
and I'm
a
like,
scientist?
you don't need research. You don't
Right.
need any research on this. Surely it's quite obvious.
Yes. If you repeatedly slap someone as hard as you can in the face, that's not good for your brain.
It always amazes me that people actually do things like that.
Yeah.
Back of a length, and they do well to guide this into the offside for a quick single. 2 wickets down here, Oman. 41 for 2.
Yeah, and after that, they had that little burst of offense. Nepal's kind of
Leg. I'll have to take a second look on that one.
it was definitely low enough.
Well, down leg again and helped on its way. 4 runs added for Akibilias. He really has played well, Akibilias, in these games.
It's pretty much
Playing
the
a
same
captain's
hit.
knock again.
It's the same ball as the previous one. Locked right into it.
Yeah, just missing his line. Dipender Singh Ari.
I just did the commentary curse. I'm like, Nepal's got things back under control, and watch now, Oman's going to go on another hut street.
Well, it's a single to end that over, but we're going to take a look at that shout. Yeah, comfortably going down leg. Nowhere in line of the stumps. Good decision by the umpire. End of the over. 6 overs gone. Oman 47 for 2. Umpire Arnold Medella just signaling the end of the power play. 6 overs gone.
Oh, I thought he was stretching his shoulder.
And getting ready to bowl. They need 111 from 84 balls. They've kept that required run rate in check, Oman, despite the 2 wickets, and it's Gulshan Shah back into the attack from the pavilion end.
Yeah, I think overall, if you're Nepal, you're okay with that run total during the power play. We get into these middle overs. See if Oman stays aggressive like Nepal did during their middle overs.
They finished very well, didn't they, Nepal?
Yep, they
Slow
sure
in
did.
the middle, thanks to the spinners from Oman. But what an innings from their skipper today, Roy Portal. Picked up a half century and brought his side into a very comfortable position, gave them something to defend, something for the bowlers to come out and bowl at.
It's where you really gotta maintain the focus at this point in the match. It seems like this is where you can kind of go into a little rut, go into a little lapse.
Yeah, mental concentration is such a big one. Whether you're batting or bowling, fielding as well. As that one's hit down the ground, and it's going to get the distance. 6 runs picked up by Zishan Maksud. Good looking stroke down the ground.
Yeah, just enough to get it over that boundary. Is that the shorter side of the field?
2 long boundaries are the shorter ones.
Just enough over the boundary, and the commentary curse is real, folks.
I think you mean commentator's curse.
I keep calling it that. It's my bad.
Well, 7 runs coming off this over. Gulshan Jha under a little bit of pressure. So important for them to win this game here in Nepal. A little bit of extra zip on that. And a play and a miss.
Swing and a miss.
So, do you think now when you go back and watch baseball, you might find it a bit boring compared to cricket?
I already thought it was boring. So
Fair point.
it's definitely more boring than T20 cricket. And anyone who wants to have that argument with me, bring it on.
Slower delivery, good change of pace by Gulshan Jha. And there you have it. Matt Bonner, aka Red Rockets, endorsed cricket
Absolutely.
over baseball.
And it's not even close.
It's just incredible, isn't it? The more the sport grows and the more aware people become of it, they'll realize just how exciting the sport is.
Yes.
This is a T20. A lot of T10s popping up too now.
T10.
10 overs a side.
Wow. Do you only get 5 wickets?
Now you get all 11. That's pushed into the offside. They pick up a single to end the over. Oman 56 for 2 at the end of 7.
Try the new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger. Let's go.
T10. That's intense.
Yeah, very quick game. Not a lot of time to muck about.
Yeah.
And not a lot of time to think when you go out there. It's all guns blazing. A little bit of flight. And a little slow through the air, Japendra Singh Airy. When T20 first came out, we thought T20 was quick. And it is, generally speaking, compared to the 50-over version. But now you throw an even shorter version in the game.
One thing I've really enjoyed about cricket, I'm like a numbers guy, and just like constantly seeing how the run rates and the target and what you need to average, how that's constantly shifts and momentum changes. It's really fun kind of keeping an eye on all that. Like need 101 more from 76 balls, so you're doing the math in your head. What does that mean?
How many runs do I need to get per over? Yeah, exactly.
Swing and a miss.
If you want to analyze, you can actually get quite deep into the sport. A lot of analysts for the international teams, the amount of stats that they pick up, things like how many times has this specific bowler been bowled to a left-handed bowler, or things like how many times have they been stumped, or how many deliveries down this line does this bowler bowl in an over. Just really nitty-gritty and try and analyze the sport. especially some of the top sides. They've got a lot of analysis. They've got serious game plans for oppositions.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. That type of intelligence and information for the coach when you're putting together your strategy, your order, your bowling order, your batting order. I'm sure it's important.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. How's that? TD, ready for you.
Sandeep Lamichhane comes into the attack. An integral part of this Nepali side.
Seems like the wind is picking up.
Exactly. Exciting character with the bat. And an even more exciting character with the ball. Yeah, you mentioned it. The breeze is picking up. Getting a bit colder here as well. It's the clouds, isn't it? The cloud cover's started to come in. Can't quite see the sun shining through anymore. Should have worn my winter socks today.
Yes. wool socks?
Yeah, just the ones that go, up the shins.
Should have wore some long johns.
Yeah. Now you're talking. Oh, he starts with an orthodox leg spin delivery. It's a single picked up by Akibilias. I do really enjoy winter. I enjoy it until about the end of January.
Yeah. Unfortunately, here you got 2 more months left.
Yeah.
You go skiing?
Yeah. The kids got him in pretty young as well.
I always thought it was funny. I went to University of Florida and I played basketball in Texas. They call it snow skiing. Like you specify snow skiing, but like when you're from the up north, it's just skiing.
It's just skiing.
Yeah.
I did not know that they called it.
Oh yeah, they're like.
Where else
did
are you
grow up
ski?
Snow skiing? On the water skiing.
That's right.
Yeah.
But that we do specify that we're going water skiing. That makes sense.
Yeah, we do it the other way around.
Yes. That's too funny. That sounds a bit odd to say snow skiing.
Right. Like, you mean just skiing?
Just keeping it in close to that off stump line. Well, we apologize for all the silence there. There's a photo shoot going on.
Yeah, I know. We got all different angles.
Just of the commentary team here. It's been a fun bunch. It's been a fun week.
Yeah, it has. It sure has. I've learned so much. And I appreciate everybody out there listening.
Pulled away, and it's going to be a wicket. The third one goes down for Oman. Sandeep Lamichhane on the last delivery of his first over gets the breakthrough. It's a big one. It's Akibilias, the skipper of Oman.
Yeah, it really kills any momentum Oman was trying to get with these middle overs. They're going to have to really turn things around and pick it up if they're going to reach this run total of 158. But nice hands right there. Does a good job cradling it. Talk about that cold weather. You don't want to hurt the hands. You got to kind of cradle it into you. Squeezes it in.
It's defender Singh.
Yeah, big time defensive play right there. Really shifts things in favor of Team Nepal.
Oh, 9 overs gone. Oman 61 for 3, and we're going to say goodbye to the legendary Matt Bonner. He's got to go do a few things outside of cricket. It was lovely working with you. It was lovely having you on air with us. And we hope that you're back in cricket sometime soon again.
Well, likewise, the sport has gained a new big fan. And I want to thank you and everybody else in the broadcast team and everybody listening for your patience as I learned this game. And hopefully I get to do this again.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Matt. Safe travels.
Thank you.
A big moment off that Sandeep Lamichhane over. Picks up an all-important wicket. And now we've got trouble in the comm box. Big trouble as the Irishman returns. Andrew Leonard back in the house. Oh, and that's nearly cut.
Well, one Irishman replacing another.
Oh.
What an absolute gent Matt Bonner has. And what a
Yes.
joy it's been to have him here.
If only you were anywhere close to being as gentlemanlike. Well, up in the air and put down. That's a chance gone missing, and it's Zishan Maksud who's been striking the ball very well. Frustration from Japendra Singh Airy, and for
Dev
good
Canal.
reason.
Yeah, Dev Canal who's put it down. It was a real chance. I didn't think he made particularly good ground the moment it came off the bat. It was always going to be going away to his right. And if he made that good ground, maybe the heavy turf, he's now kicked the turf himself in frustration. And that's another big moment in the match. Ilyas dropped, now Maksud.
We'll have to see how expensive this ends up being for them, as Japendra Singh Airy has run quite some distance to do the fielding for himself.
How has he got there before everyone else? The ball it's 40 yards from the bat.
He's lightning fast, isn't he?
Oh, he's exceptional to watch, I've got to say. We've only had one over together this entire No Frills T20 Cup.
Thank God.
I've missed you.
Lenny,
I've desperately missed you.
such a liar.
Tell you,
You poke away at me constantly.
my poor old heart is broken here. Only one more ball. The drinks break, it's incoming, and Irie's so quick as well.
Popped up again. And quite nearly a run out here.
Well, this would have been ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. Arslan Kadir thinks a direct hit could have been gone here. We're going to stay with this and bring you the replay. I don't think there's another fielder in the world who would have got there, let alone turn it into a chance. He did everything just right. Watch this athleticism from Japendra Singh Airy. Squares him up, bit of a leading edge. He immediately picks up which way it's going, gets there so swiftly, throws off balance. Oh, it would have been gone now. The throw is off target, but that would have been utterly
gone by
ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Such an athlete, Japendra Singh Airy. 10 overs gone. We're at the halfway stage. Oman 64 for 3.
And we're going to hear a little bit about what this No Frills T20 Cup is all about. Let's get up to the crowd, see what's going on up there.
No Frills T20 Nepal versus Oman. It's a cold day, partially cloudy, but we have Nepalese fans here cheering for their team. We all know that Nepal has diehard fans, and I have a few standing right next to me. What's your good name?
Akriti Garong.
And where have you traveled from?
All the way from Pennsylvania, 7-hour drive.
Wow, that's insane. Is there any specific player that you came here to see?
No, the whole team actually. They're absolutely amazing, gorgeous. The whole story is crazy. Me and my family, so all together, we've been here for 3 games.
Wow, that's crazy. And last question, who's gonna win today?
Nepal, of course, no doubt.
Can I have a cheer for Nepal, guys? Thank you. Back to you.
Well, Yesha Sagar up there in the crowd, giving us a little bit of the colour and the brilliance of those Nepal fans. The game is... Believe it. We only had an over together, and she was going at me, wasn't she?
You might have deserved it. What?
Really?
For all that you've been giving her.
That was in the ODI series. That was weeks ago. That was a lifetime ago.
It does feel like a lifetime ago, doesn't it? But this No Frills T20 Cup, evenly poised here. Still a long way to go for Oman. But that would have been such an important wicket. They cannot lose Zishan Maksud at this stage. He's the key man.
I know he didn't affect the direct hit, but that was just extraordinary from Dipender Singh Ari, wasn't it?
You probably count on one hand the number of people in the world that would have been able to make that into a line-out. Jadeja.
Chris Jordan might have got there.
Nate, tough.
Someone like, I tell you who's exceptional, as they're thinking about the single. Oh, there it is! We're just talking about his brilliance, and Dipender Singh Ari, he does it again! It was a yes, no, wait, sorry from Zishan Maksud, and Irie took aim, picked up with one hand, lasered into the stumps, and it's one of the moments of the entire tour. It's that man again, the Tiger of Nepal, the number 2 ranked all-rounder in the world, Dipender Singh Ari.
Look at the smile on his face there, Dipender Singh Ari. We were just talking about him. He might have had 1.5 stumps to aim at, Lenny. But how much did that last delivery of the last over play into Zishan Maksud's head here? Seeing it's Dipender Singh Ari, and he's not going to miss that. Look at that. Sandeep, get the leg out of the way, because that's crashing the stump.
Well, that is world class. Glenn Phillips was the other one I was going to mention from New Zealand. There is a handful of fielders in the world that are that quick. And for me, if he's not in the top 10, he's in the top 5. He could well be the very best fielder in the world. He's brilliant to watch. It's the one and only Dipender Singh Ari. It's 64 for 4.
Let's talk about the work from Sandeep Lamichhani to get that leg out of the way. It's a strong throw from Dipender Singh Ari. And yeah, I think that the run out chance in the last over, just playing in the mind of Zishan Maksud. He saw who the fielder was, looked up and said, nope, I'm not going to challenge him. But unfortunately for Khalid Kale, he had to go.
Did sell his teammate a bit down the river there, didn't he, Zishan Maksud? Because there was an initial movement of a yes, but then I think what's happened is he's looked up and seen who it was, and he's gone, oh no, and I need to send him back. And it all happened in a flash. It was so quick. We've waited till the final Nepal game of the tour for Dipender Singh Ari to produce that moment of magic, and that moment of magic was in the field. He is electrifying to watch, and Nepal right on top now.
Yeah, Nepal right on top. The Tiger pounced all over it, didn't he, Lenny? And now Rohit Patel, he's on the attack, slip in place.
Yeah, he does this quite a bit, doesn't he? He changes things up, doesn't just go with the leg breaks to the left-handers. He likes bowling this little seamer delivery. He's just developed that kind of over the last 6 months as well. It's a real dart. I think he bowls such a good googly. I'd just like to see him bowl a few more googlies to the left-handers. This time it's a leg break and it's a misfield from Rijan Dakal. Problem for Oman, Zishan Maksud, he's not quick between the wickets, is he?
No, certainly not. And that's something that we saw in the Nepal innings. Rohit Patel and Kushal Malla, they ran well between the innings that allowed them to keep the momentum going when they weren't finding the boundary. Here for Oman, he started out really well, Zishan Maksud, really aggressive to start. But he's got to find a partner here.
He just spearing in old kind of fashioned off-breaking darts. It's a case of what the team needs right now for Sandeep Lamichhani. Don't mind that at all.
Let's have a look at his figures here, Lenny. 1 for 4 into his last ball of the second over. 11 overs gone. Zishan Maksud, he's got to find a way to get something to the boundary.
This one's cut away behind square. It's the shorter side. And Gulshan Jad is out there, who does really well. Maksud has to get going and just gets home. Nepal, well, they're incredibly energetic in the field. Gets us to the end of the 11th. It's 68 for 4.
Seva is giving back to the community and making sure that the community is taken care of. We do a lot of that at our temples and in the Punjabi community, and that's how I see the store. So it's the no-frills thing to do.
So, 11 overs gone. Lovely to hear your messages as always on social media. Just want to give a big shout out to Matt Bonner, who we've loved having. It's like, what do you think, Arslan? You're a Canadian and you're local. It'd been amazing to have him with us, isn't it?
The Red Rocket. I was a fan growing up, and honestly, I was a little starstruck and fanboying a little bit earlier this week.
You like your NBA?
I love my NBA, love my basketball. I'm a huge Raptors fan. I'm a huge Spurs fan as well. Greg Popovich. I told him when he got here the first day, I said, you got to tell me your best pop stories. And I don't know if he told you any, Lenny, but
he told a few on air, actually.
He's a great man Greg Popovich. And
Notorious is this kind of almost iconic coach in the sport, right?
I'll tell you, he hates the media, Greg Popovich, and hates a strong word, but he gives some of the best interviews because he only says one word. So very similar to the interviews that we get sometimes mid-game.
He's the sort of Roy Keane, is he?
Yeah, definitely. But he's a wonderful man, loves his wine. But he was phenomenal in just giving one-word answers. After the end of the third quarter, 4 quarters in the NBA, at the end of the third quarter, especially in the playoffs or nationally televised games, you'd have the sideline reporter go and interview the coach, one of the coaches. And Pop, regardless of what the question was, he'd be like, what are you going to come out with in the fourth quarter? Strong.
Strong. We're going to come strong.
And that was it. And it was one-word answers, but to the point. He answered the question, but one-word answers. And he built this great relationship. The late, great Craig Sager. You might have heard the name. One of the best sideline reporters of all time. Unfortunately, losing him to leukemia a couple of years ago. And he did an interview when Craig Sager was in the hospital with Craig Sager's son. And for the first time, he saw Pop's personality come out because he missed him. And so he gave the one-word answer, and then he said to Sager's son, he said, I've got a message for your dad. And he looked right at the camera and put such a strong, wonderful message together. So I was asking Matt about those. What an incredible man. And how much has he loved being here, Lenny? That's been the bigger story.
I've got to say his positivity and enthusiasm for cricket, given he's never seen it before. And if you're watching on at home and you don't know much about the NBA, let's say you're from Nepal, you're talking about an icon of the game here, a 2-time NBA winning champion, kind of real legacy player for the San Antonio Spurs. Had spent that time up here in Toronto as well. This goes down the ground. Has he got enough of it? He's just going to fall out of reach of Dev Canal and Kushal Bertel. They got back for a couple. But if you think any of that enthusiasm was faked or staged just because he was on air, it was the absolute opposite. Off air, he was almost more engaged, more interested. I think he was genuinely fascinated by the sport, fascinated by the nation of Nepal and the love he's received from the fans online for the Lambu Dai. Quite remarkable.
Yeah, he went all in. He went all in, Matt. Man, a great man. You sit next to him and you forget that this is a 2-time NBA champion.
Very down-to-earth guy. But I think that he was also notorious as that during his career. His nickname was about the fact he used to ride the subway rather than kind of go there in a Lamborghini or a Ferrari.
Yeah, the Toronto Transit Commission, the TTC, called it the Rocket. And his nickname is the Red Rocket. As we see the umpires coming together here, Lenny, they're having a look at the ball. Look to see what's going on. And we're looking at this scorecard, and there's not much batting to go, but there's an important name down there that I want to talk about, Lenny, that might come into play. Important, this partnership, very important. They need to get this to the 15th, 16th over. But Rafiola, you're looking at that name. We saw him strike a few lusty blows against Nepal in their last time out. He's going to be a key man if they're going to get over the line. Yeah,
I think if there's a situation where it's 50 to win off 5 or even 60 off 5 like it was in the game yesterday for Nepal trying to defend that, Rafiola is the one player, the X factor, who could come in and do things very quickly. Still just the 5 bowlers used, and with all those additional options, particularly with the 2 left-handers at the crease, I'm surprised we haven't seen Rohit Paudel himself with the ball in hand. I just think consistently, not just here in Toronto, but just in general, recently around the world, we've seen Nepal bowl a bit more seam than they should have and a bit less spin than they could have. Kushal Bertel, in such wicket-taking form in this format, has only bowled in one of the 4 innings that might have bowled in 2 actually, but he's bowled very infrequently. As the Seagull wants to take centre stage, off he goes. Ayan Khan gives him a little flutter of the wings to get into the...
It looks like he's coming back as well. He wants to come right back.
Where's the action? Where is the action? Don't get too close. There has been incidents. There's one of those seagulls in the Lord's Museum, remember? And it's not an alive seagull. It's one that's been stuffed. But just to finish on Matt Bonner, exceptional enthusiasm for cricket. I think he's loved every minute here.
He had to go. Unfortunately, he's got a commitment. He's flying out to San Antonio tomorrow, so he's got to get out of here. But you could tell he didn't want to get off air, did he? He wanted to be here till the end of this game. Yeah, great man. Great man, Nat Bonner, and I suspect it won't be the last time we see him on air for cricket.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I'm genuine in my want to get him to come to Nepal one day. I think he would love it, and I think the people from Nepal would adore it as well. He is as down to earth a superstar as you'll ever meet. Been great to have him. One thing I did say to him that I just want to correct as well. Got this from Spiron on social media. It says at Cricket Badge. Just a reminder, the 14 Peaks record that was set in that Netflix documentary that I was talking about, Tenzin Lama Sherpa, it's been broken by Kristin Harilla of Norway, who set a speed record for climbing all 14 8,000 plus peaks with supplementary oxygen in a record of 92 days. Well, I thought what he was doing was impossible. I'm not sure how.
In 92 days.
Well, that's it. I haven't got that checked, but generally the Nepal faithful will be pretty great on social media, on Twitter. Maybe somebody can correct that. If not, let us know at Cricket Badge if you get that. End of the 12th, 72 for 4.
As a business owner, you have a responsibility to give back to your community.
We hire local and we serve local.
Breakfast program, scoop program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
Okay, need to correct. 2023, the climbing season, she set a speed record with Tenzin Lama Sherpa, so it's with a Nepalese climber, and they did climb all 14 8,000 plus peaks in just 92 days. Extraordinary. Rohit Paudel into the attack, and he strikes immediately. One captain takes out the former captain of the other country, and well, that could prove the fatal and maybe the telling blow. Nepal right on top now.
You've been asking for him, Lenny. You've called it on air. Said two left-handers in. Rohit Paudel, he's got to come into the attack. And strikes first ball. What a big wicket this is. Just hits straight back with no real power. Gets it high on the bat to Zishan Maksud. And Rohit Paudel takes a good low catch. What a big wicket this is.
Massive. And I suppose you can't blame Maksud, can you, for trying to take it on. He's a part-time off breaks. They're very effective part-time off breaks from Rohit Paudel. It means that Maksud is the latest to fall. He's gone for 35. The score now, Oman, 72 for 5.
The new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger.
Let's go.
Juicy grass-fed beef topped with Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips.
Let's go!
Let's go! Try the new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger. Let's go.
Well, here we go. Is this last chance saloon potentially for Oman? Rafiullah to the crease. He's in up at number 7. Thought he might be in at number 8. He's somebody who has a massive X factor to him. He's not the finished article by any stretch with bat or ball, but he's just got something about him, and he'll quite fancy this matchup. The off spinner bowling with the shorter boundary to the leg side. Problem is, there's still 8 overs to bat and 11 runs required per over. How long will he take to get in?
I don't suspect long, Lenny. I suspect he's going to have a look at 1 or 2, but he's out there to go after the bowling.
Oh, it's what he's done, but it's gone up into the air, nowhere at all, and I think it's going to be Sampal Kami. He'll have to dive onto the sawdust. The 28-year-old, he's got a career strike rate of 180. He only plays in one way, looks for a big maximum from his second ball, pays the price. Paudel is 2 wickets and 3 balls.
You'd have to say smart bowling from Paudel as well. The first one was right on the stumps, making him come forward. This one, he's just brought him wide. And Rafiullah, we know his strength is to the leg side. And just on that angle, a tough shot to play against Rohit Paudel.
How good a catch is this from Sampal Kambi, given the piece of ground that he had to go over? That's why we had a delayed start this morning.
We heard Matt Bonner talking about the warning track. There's a little bit of a warning track that's been created right there with that with the sawdust. And have a look. You can see the disappointment right away on Raffaella. Asif Sheikh didn't know where it was, but Sampal Kambi better have a good laundry department because he's going to need it for that jersey later on.
I tell you, I think that's a great catch. I really do. Raffaella's gone for a duck. It's another one. It's now a procession of Omani batters heading back to the King City Pavilion. 72 for 6 will bring Pratik Attavele to the crease. And what an inspired bowling change. We were calling for it, like you said. But Rohit Paudel gets himself into the game. They need to bowl more spin. They just haven't been doing it enough.
He's been a bit reluctant to bowl himself, hasn't he, over especially even in the ODIs. But here with the two left-handers, it presented the opportunity to bring himself in. It was almost a no-doubter. And again, look at this over. 2 for 1, 2 wickets in the over, and 2 big wickets. The two X factors, you'd have to say. Zishan Maksud, he had to be there till the end. And Raffaella, the big wicket of Raffaella, and a wide there. Where does Oman go from here, Lenny? Where does Oman go?
You just wonder, is there a way back into the game from here? Pratik Attavele he's been a bit like Kashyap Prajapati, hasn't he? He just has had no form in 2024. If you get Akib Ilyas out, you kind of seem to win the game against Oman on this tour.
It's been a one-man party in their batting lineup, hasn't it? The game they won against Canada, it was Akib Ilyas. He came up the order and
Slog swept and played pretty nicely. Going to be 4, just one bounce right in front of the team dugouts. As the right-hander does like the matchup, takes on Paudel, who picks up 2 wickets but goes for 7 runs in the over. It's 79 for 6.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
Yeah, you look at somebody like Pratik Attavele, he's definitely got potential, there's no doubt, but in 2024 in T20 internationals, he's only averaging 22 with the bat. He's picked up in his now 13 innings just 150, striking at 130. That's not a bad number, but then the big problem has been, if you look at his one-day international numbers, he's averaging 14 with a high score of 34. He's a much better player than that, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly is. And I think the other point that we tend to forget is he hasn't had a great series behind the stumps either.
Gulshan Jah continues. Again, I'd probably rather see some spin on right now, but Rohit Paudel sees it differently. Kushal Mala's felt a bit underused as well. I know his left-arm spin looks innocuous, but it's often very effective.
Yeah, and we talked about this the other day, Lenny. It's just too many options for Rohit Paudel at times, so somebody's going to have to miss out. Kushal Mala has typically been the man. Rohit Paudel has typically been the man to miss out as well with the ball. We were surprised this morning when Lalit Rajvanshi wasn't in the playing 11. You suspect that's because of Zishan Maksud and Ayan Khan in the middle order?
Guided away. Sampal Kambi probably keep it to a single if he picks up cleanly as he does. Just want to touch on Kashyap Prajapati's numbers as well. Someone who kind of came into the international game about 3 years ago and immediately started making waves. In one-day international cricket this year, he's scored just 99 runs at an average of 16. And then in T20Is, he's played a few more of those, played 15, only 150. That was a not-out 50, and that makes up over a quarter of his runs. He's averaging 16 at a strike rate of 100 opening the batting for Oman. You can see why Dilip Bendis is having such problems piecing wins together.
Yeah, certainly. They're looking to find the right combination, but besides Akib Ilyas and Zishan Maksud to an extent, we haven't really found anybody.
Nobody else is getting runs.
Nobody else is getting runs. And I just mentioned Pratik Attavele with behind the stumps. When you have a good day behind the stumps, that confidence transcends into your batting, and vice versa. When you have a good day with the bat, that transcends into your keeping. And right now, it's been a little bit of a struggle. And the other man I just want to talk about really quickly, Ayan Khan, going into the ODIs, he had 100 in one of the warm-up games, 100 off 70 balls on a very difficult King City wicket. And that form you think would have translated over, but unfortunately, it just simply hasn't.
I think for me, Ayan Khan, and I mean this with respect to him because I really like him as a cricketer, I think he's massively underperforming. And I'm not sure if some of that is to do with maybe a kind of flip-flopping role in the team. You all thought when he made that 100 in the qualifier last year, the Cricket World Cup qualifier, that was going to kind of be the breakthrough innings and he was going to become a real mainstay of the team. On this tour, he's been ever present in the side, but his highest score is 30, and his only bowling performance of real note was in the final ODI where he took 2 for 21. And even then he was taken out of the attack after 6 overs, and we couldn't understand it at the time. So I don't know whether he's maybe been a victim of being a little bit underutilised with bat and with ball, but I think he owes his team's runs and wickets.
Yeah, he certainly does. He's been good in the field. He's taken a couple of decent catches, but again, his main role here is in this middle order. After Zishan Maksud and Akib Ilyas, he's got to be the man to really take this game deep, bat with the tail towards the end of the game, and win them games. A little bit of a role like Michael Bevan did for Australia for such a long time. And I know that's a big name to call out.
Irie. Oh, the direct hit would have been gone. It's nearly 2, possibly 3 run-outs in the game for one fielder alone. 45 in action again. They've run straight to him. He's picked up cleanly, taken aim, and I'm almost certain a direct hit would have been out.
We got to check his pockets for a magnet here, because everything goes to him, and he just creates opportunities out of nowhere. And he would have been well short once again. Gulshan Jah. I think Gulshan Jah had time, if he collected it, to get that back onto the stumps.
He was almost trying to deflect it, wasn't he? And I think a deflection would have been good enough. More moments of brilliance from Dipender Singh Irie. It's a good bouncer. He's perfectly delivered just in between the shoulder and the head. It means that Jah will complete his 4 overs, none for 24, first time he's been wicketless on this tour. It's 85 for 6.
As a business owner, you have a responsibility to give back to your community.
We hire local and we serve local.
Breakfast program, school program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
So a pretty good effort from Gulshan Jah. 4 overs, none for 24. You'll always take on at a run of ball in T20 cricket as Sandeep Lamachani. Suspect he's licking his lips. Remember, he came back in at this stage yesterday, took a double wicket maiden that put Nepal very heavily into the box seat. And that 1 over from Powdell, he's taken himself off now, but it's given him plenty of flexibility with where he'll turn in the remaining 6 overs of this chase. Oman have it all to do. And this could be another one for Sandeep Lamachani. Kushal Malla nestles underneath it, takes the simplest of catches, and well, the disaster run continues for Ayan Khan. Lamachani with another T20I wicket to his name, and it's Calypso Collapso right now for the men from Oman.
I just don't think it's the right idea looking to attack. Ayan Khan has got to be the man. I think Prati got the volley. He's got to go hard. But Ayan Khan saying, I'm taking it on my shoulders and doing it unsuccessfully here. Just managing the off spinner again from Sandeep Lamachani going away from Ayan Khan. Gets a thickish outside edge high up in the air. And Kushal Malla, he was never going to make a mistake on that one.
All too easy, and it's lovely to see the smiles on the faces of the Nepali players. Ayan Khan, the latest to go. He's gone for 7. There's Gulshan Jah just getting some treatment. It's now 85 for 7.
Nepal, you would have to say, are putting themselves in a very strong position here, Lenny. Their net run rate, it was already on top from a net run rate standpoint. It's going to only get better
I think
this game.
I think we're in a position now that no matter what happens tomorrow, if Canada win, they'll win the tournament. But I think if Oman can upset Canada again, Nepal will be champions. There's no two ways about it. We won't need the calculators. We won't need the permutations. Oman would need such an extraordinary win over Canada to turn it around. And because Canada's net run rate is already worse than Nepal's, and it will get worse with another defeat, the only way they can win the tournament is with a win. So the equation's simple for the home side, but it's ever so complicated for Oman, who are probably staring down the barrel now, to be honest with you. Will Nepal be looking at this series and going, oh, we should have won this tournament. We should have won at least one of those 2 Canada games. Both were really tightly fought. This is edged away. Good diving stop from Cami. Will keep it to a single.
I think Nepal would look at both of those games against Canada and say, we should have come on top. I think there's a call to be 4-0 in this No Frills T20 Cup for Nepal. But I think one of the few things is there are some positives that they can now take away from this. We said they're going to stick around. They're going to play a couple of ODIs. Sorry, one-day games against a Canada A side. And they have to start taking these positives into the series against USA and Scotland here next month. So lots of positives. But yeah, you're right. Monty Desai and his squad will be looking at this and saying, we should have won this comfortably.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reality is they're cruising home here. They've proved far too good for Oman. They will at least finish this tour. I know they've got 3 non-televised games, 3 kind of practice matches to round it up before they head south of the border down to USA, but they will at least finish on a winning note internationally, and they should go down to take on a very fine USA side full of confidence. They really will. As Mala wasn't quite ready at cover, Salamachani just pulls out of the delivery. They're probably a better side than what they've shown here, aren't they, Nepal? They found the conditions difficult. They'll find them easier in Texas. That will be a wide at the off stump. Lamachani doesn't want it to be given.
Yeah, they'll certainly find a better. But I was actually quite surprised, especially with Sandeep Lamachani spending some time over here over the summer. Deepinder Singh Aire and Kushal Rohit Paudel spent a lot of time in Toronto, a lot of time playing on these wickets. Back from the break as we have a change in the commentary box. 88 for 7 after 15. Manali, welcome back.
Thank you, RC.
One correction with Lenny. Nepal, after this series, starting October 4th, there'll be 3 games, October 4th, October 6th, and October 8th against the Canada A squad. Those will be streamed, I believe, on the Cricket Canada YouTube channel. We'll get confirmation on that. But for the fans in Nepal, they'll be able to see their team go up against the Canada A side in preparation for a tour of Dallas in the U.S.
Big one, that too, isn't it, for them? We're trying to use his feet to go down the ground. Kushal Bhurtel keeps it to a dot ball.
Yeah,
Scotland, USA, Nepal. Head to head. It's a lot of cricket for Nepal, back to back. They'll feel quite comfortable here, Nepal. 7 wickets down, Oman, 88 runs on the board. That required rate is awfully close to 15 runs and over now.
Yeah, there's only one way they can play from here, Oman. They've got to go. They've got to get 1, if not 2 boundaries and over from here on forth. And Kushal Bhurtel coming into the attack. 2 right-handers in now. Ahmed Fayaz Butt. You got to say, it's got to be Pratika Tavali to get anywhere near this now. And not much batting left for Oman. And yeah, back-to-back series. The good thing is, it's in North America, so they're sticking around Canada for a little while. They're going to stick around here in the Toronto area. And then they're going to fly down to Texas. T20 series before the World Cricket League 2.
Well, this is gone through, and it's going to go all the way for 4 runs. Disappointing stuff. Not what you want to see as a bowler when you create the chances.
Yeah, we'll have a look here. Pratika Tavali, he got nowhere near this in the end, Manali. Not much spin on offer, but his head, he was counting how many clouds in the sky. And Beatnall's and Asif Sheikh, he'll be disappointed. You'd say that's a regulation take for him.
Well, he brings out the reverse. He's not gotten a hold of this. And it's going to be none other than Dipinder Singh Ari who does the cleanup. How good has he been in the field? In fact, you can't take him out of the game. And now Oman are 8 wickets down. And it's the man you thought who would kick on, Pratik Athavale.
He was the man that had to do it, and I don't know about this option. But Kushal Bertel, he picks up his first wicket. Pratik Athavale, he's in no position to play this in the end. And just as simple as you like for Dipinder Singh Ari. Says thank you very much, and the smiles. You can't wipe him off the Nepal faces.
Well, they're really falling apart here, Oman. Decent start with the ball when they first came out. And then it's that innings from the skipper, Rohit Paudal, who really just turned things around for Nepal, gave them a decent total. And it's as if Oman just haven't shown up with a bat today.
Yeah, they really haven't. They've struggled all series, you'd have to say. This whole tour of Canada, not only just in this No Frills T20 Cup, in World Cricket League 2 as well. If Akib Ilyas hasn't fired, just the team isn't able to put it all together. They've really struggled. And they've got to find some answers here, Manali, as you look towards this World Cricket League 2 and their standings as we lead into a T20 World Cup in a couple of years' time as well.
Well, that's flighted. And it's sprayed into the offside. They'll pick up 2 runs here, but when you're 8 wickets down and you require a run rate like that, you just feel like you're not going to come out on the right side of things here. 16 overs gone, Oman, 96 for 8. Four overs or just 2 very good deliveries is going to bring this contest to an end. Sandeep Lamichhane coming in to finish his spell, and how good has he been with the ball today? 2 for 9 off his 3 overs.
Yeah, we saw him wearing Bim Sharkey's sweater earlier, didn't we, Manali? Sandeep Lamichhane.
Well, it goes down the ground. Oh, and that would have taken some catching. Good effort nonetheless. Anil Shah does very well in the deep.
Yeah, you'd have to say it was mighty close. He decided to go for it. And some of these catches, you've got to make a split-second decision whether to go for it, hang back. He decided to go. And in the end, you would have to say he saved 3 runs for his side.
The athleticism on this is just quite incredible. Couldn't get in for the catch. Made sure he got something behind that ball. Just saving a boundary. Big swing and a miss.
He's really firing him into the left-handers, isn't he, Manali? The off-spin and the seam-up delivery. He's just blowing with a lot of pace. I suspect he might loop one up here to try and buy a wicket.
Into the offside. And they pick up a single.
Yeah, we talked about Sandeep Lamichhane wearing Bim Sharkey's sweater. Bim Sharkey looked like he was just out there as well. Just trying to take a look around the field to see who's off. I think it might be Gulshan Jha off the field, actually. So we just hope he's all right. We'll get confirmation on that.
We did take that ball pretty hard on the hand, didn't he, on that follow-through? It was struck with some power.
Yeah, and we saw it. We got an image of him just a little while ago, walking with the physio, having a look at that hand.
Well,
so we hope he's okay. We certainly hope he's okay. He's an important man for Nepal. He's a fan favorite as well. We saw his antics against Oman a couple of days ago.
Especially because they've got another series coming up right after this one in the U.S. End of the 17th over, Oman 99 for 8.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket.
It's been a great No Frills T20 Cup. Exciting games coming down to the wire. Game number 5 here, coming in with the final game tomorrow, where the hosts, Canada, take on Oman.
Yeah, Manali, absolutely brilliant couple of days. It's my last day here as well. I won't be around tomorrow, but it makes for a brilliant day's cricket tomorrow. All to play for. Oman, they gave themselves a lot to go. You'd have to say with this, it's going to take a brilliant effort to get home from here, but you'd say Nepal, they put themselves in the hot seat to take this. Looks like they're right in front of it, right in front of the No Frills T20 Cup. And Manali, right after this, my groceries are ready at No Frills. So all I have to do is go pick them up. I won't have to walk the aisles.
Slog swept, one bounce to the fielder. Does that mean you don't come home with all the junk food that you were hoping to?
No, I'm actually hoping I don't, and that's why we do it. But see, the thing is, we talked about don't go to the grocery shop hungry, but even when you're ordering online, if you're hungry, it's even easier. It's even easier. Nothing easy out there right now for Oman, however. Shakil Ahmed, he's been brilliant with the ball. He's brilliant with the bat in the ODI series as well, wasn't he? Winning the game against Nepal.
Oh, flighted, and this is up in the air. It's going to be 9 down. The 100 has come up, but they've just lost their 9th wicket, Oman. They can't do anything wrong here in Nepal. It's Kushal Bhurtal who'll pick up his 2nd wicket.
Yeah, Sampal Kami. He's not going to miss that. We saw him take a brilliant catch the other day, earlier in the game, and a simpler one on this occasion. And Kalimullah and Ahmed Fayaz, but the two fast bowlers for Oman, it's down to them now. They need 21.75 runs and over, Manali.
Got nowhere in line of that ball, completely losing shape. And a decent catch from Sampal Kami in the end. They've come in really strong today, Nepal, trying to turn things around after a tough loss against Canada yesterday. The net run rate looks pretty good as well. Canada, unfortunately, after that heavy defeat against Oman, that net run rate has really taken a hit, hasn't it?
Yeah, certainly. And I think that if you look at this game, Manali, I go back to Rohit Paudel being dropped by Agib Ilyas as really the turning point. Nepal were in a position where they had a decent score going, but they needed Rohit to kick on. And if Agib Ilyas takes that catch, I suspect he could have kept Nepal down to 130, 140. It's a different chase. Wasn't to be the case, and he played a brilliant knock. I suspect a match-winning knock and a player of the match knock for him. But now it's been too much since then. It's been all Nepal since that very moment.
Looking to get that slog sweep in again. They're not going to be too worried here, Nepal, with the runs. They just want to pick up the final wicket. Yusuf Feet. The bails haven't been taken off yet, and they're taken off right. They're just teasing the batter. Well, this is a little bit of cheekiness from Nepal. And it's Kushal Bhurtal who picked up his 3rd wicket, and that's going to be it for Oman in this contest. They are bowled out for 101. They're having fun out there, Nepal, aren't they?
It's a joy to watch Nepal play when they're playing in this fashion, and it's a joy to see the smiles on their faces. They've thoroughly deserved the win today. They've completely outclassed Oman, and just have a look at this. Kushal Bhurtal beating Ahmed Fayaz, but all ends up, and Asif Sheikh, he had hands behind his back for a little while. Look at Fayaz, but a little bit of... He tried to sell him the dummy, did he, Fayaz? But Asif Sheikh.
That's a bit harsh. It's a bit harsh from Nepal. All smiles, Kushal Bhartel, as he should be. He's picked up his third wicket. And they have cleaned up Oman in some fashion here in Nepal, coming back strong after the loss against Canada yesterday. He'll be happy sitting at the top of that table. They win by a whopping 56 runs. Big win here for Nepal. Handshakes all around, smiles all around for Nepal. They've turned things around in the T20 series after a tough outing with the 50-over series.
Yeah, just saying, and it's the Nepal fans. You can see them on the boundary in the background. They're dancing because Nepali Ho, their victory song, is ringing out around the ground. Mighty signs. We heard the interview with the fans. Some driving up to 17 hours. Some driving up, having to go back on Sunday, and then driving back after church. So they're happy. They're dancing in the crowd, and Nepali Ho ringing out around the ground.
Well, just so appropriate, isn't it? And they do always find some home support, Nepal, regardless of where they play. Their fans do come out in numbers, as they have here in King City on what has been a fairly nippy day. It's not been warm, regardless of the sun shining. It's pretty cold out here. They've braved the cold. They've braved the long drives, and they've come out here to watch their team not only play, but to win this contest.
And have a look at this. The Nepal team, as soon as they finish shaking hands, they don't go into the dugout whatsoever. They go straight over to their fans. They go celebrate with their fans. They thank the faithful for coming out. And you can just see them just clapping away. They'll sign some autographs. They'll take some pictures. And it's been almost a perfect day for Nepal. They started well with the bat. They ended well thanks to the captain, Rohit Paudel. And then with the ball, they put this game out of doubt very early. And Oman just having no answers whatsoever. In the end, a comfortable win for Nepal by 56 runs.
Well, always lovely to see how they appreciate their fans. Nepal always, after every game that they play, they'll go around and just do a bit of a thank you, a round of applause for their fans. Humbling to see that they appreciate the support and that they're happy to have them here. Well, Oman, they've really not shown up with the bat today. Akib Ilyas, the skipper, up at the top, 22 from him. Zishan Maksud, 35, and Pratik Athavale, 12. The only three players to get into double digits. The rest of it, single digits, and it really tells a story of a struggling batting unit.
And then when you look at the bowlers, Rija and Dakal started out brilliantly, had a lot of sawdust to deal with, but took 2 for 17. Depinder Singh Airi bowled brilliantly, wicketless, however, but he was in the game. Sandeep Lamichhane, you would have to say the pick of the bowlers, 2 for 12 off his 4. And the captain, reluctant captain to bowl, brought himself on for 1 over and took 2 big wickets of Zishan Maksud and Rafiola. And then Kushal Bhartel, he just had the cleanup job, didn't he? Wouldn't want to call him the janitor, but he was on janitorial services today, 3 for 10 off his 1.5 overs.
Well, the skipper could do no wrong today. Nepal, they were put into bat first after Oman won the toss. The skipper leading from the top, Rohit Paudel, half century from him, and everyone chipping in with double digits. On the flip side, the bowling, well, they struggled later in that first innings. Oman with the bat, just not getting to where they needed to. In the end, Nepal have cleaned them up quite easily, winning this contest by 56 runs.
TD is supporting cricket in more ways than ever. Because we believe Canada needs more cricket. TD, ready for you.
As a business owner, you have a responsibility to give back to your community.
We hire local and we serve local.
Breakfast program, school program for kids.
Seniors bus program, providing transportation to and from the store.
Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
Seva is giving back to the community and making sure that the community is taken care of. We do a lot of that at our temples and in the Punjabi community, and that's how I see the store. So it's a no-frills thing to do.
The new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger.
Let's go.
Juicy grass-fed beef, topped with Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips.
Let's go!
Let's go! Try the new A&W Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger. Let's go.
The all-new Nissan Kicks. Ready for whatever you're into. Get your kicks.
Well, there are the standings at the moment. Nepal sitting pretty at the top with 2 wins in this contest. 4 matches, 2 wins, 2 losses, and a healthy net run rate. Canada, they need a win tomorrow, and the net run rate is going to be tested. We'll just have to see how tomorrow plays out. An exciting contest here from us as Nepal win this game by a giant 56-run margin. Don't go away too far. We're going to take a break here in the comm box. We'll be back shortly with the post-match presentation as Andrew Leonard is ready to get things rolling down there.
Okay, post-match presentation time. Game number 5 of the No Frills T20 Cup, and Nepal have ran out very convincing winners by 56 runs to move top of the table and keep alive their hopes of winning this title. We'll speak with both captains and we'll find out who the player of the match is. Starting with the captain of Oman, that's Akib Ilyas. Akib, just come in here to me, mate. Commiserations, that was a really disappointing performance. Let's start with the bowling. Do you think 157 was a few too many to let them get, given that you won the toss?
No, I don't think so. 157 was a much target, the wicket was really good to bat on, but I feel that drop catch which I did for Rohit and he got up to 50, it is a part of game, but still at the end we could have covered up. But I think 150 is chaseable, quite chaseable in T20 cricket. You can't chase 150 with 8 to 9 batter in the side.
You've had just a continuing problem with your batting, haven't you? None of the kind of top 6 or 7, maybe except yourself, have really had much form. Zishan Maksud played really nicely today, but again, nobody got past that 50 marker.
Yeah, that patch is not going. Once you get 1 wicket and then, the other teams are ready that 2 to 3 wickets are going to come soon. And, in every other game, other than the last game, it happened, we get 1 wicket, we were 60 for 3. And then, we ended up like 90 for 8, 90 for 9. So, that patch has to go, someone has to come in and, they have to drag the game and they have to stretch it.
Have you been able to identify in and around the group between yourself, Duleep Mendes, Pupudi Dasanayaka, there's really good cricket brains there, Zishan Maksud too. Have you been able to kind of work out why your performances have been so inconsistent on this tour?
Yeah, obviously there is a lot, we can work on our skills, there are not much, even Pubudu coach also spoke to us. Many things were there, but now, and the last moment, you can't confuse your players that maybe some skills are going wrong or something mentally, something is going wrong. Only thing is you have to motivate them. But once we go back, we have to prepare ourselves because now the teams are coming up, their standard are raising a lot, and maybe we have to work a lot on ourselves, on our skills. So we have to be in, and we have to hire people who can work more on us, and especially the players, they have to be very dedicated. They can't take it light because now they know where they stand at the moment and how much tough cricket it is going to be in the upcoming years.
Final question. You did manage to turn it around just a few days ago after losing to Nepal. You managed to beat Canada the following day. Not going to be easy. Will you be able to do it again?
Yeah, hopefully. There is nothing that we can't do. Oman team is a great team. We got Canada out for 100 runs. Even today also we restricted them to a decent target. But there were things till 10 to 11 overs. Things were in our hand. We had to score only 8 runs per over to win. But only it's all about responsibility. We have to take the responsibility, and Oman team can do anything.
Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Look forward to seeing if you can show that bounce back ability. Wishing you all the best then.
Thank you.
Okay, that's Akib Ilyas, the captain of Oman. Time for the player of the match presentation. You might be able to guess as to why. I'd like to ask Mr. Kiraj Shrestha to come up and join me. He's the vice president of the Nepali Non-Residents Association here for Canada. They've worked really closely. Great to see you, and thanks for all your work and support with this series. Plenty of good performances today. Kushal Bertel took 3 for 10. Sandeep Lamachani 2 for 12. Rijan Dakal with 2 critical early wickets with 2 for 17. And Fayaz Butt with the ball was exceptional for Oman with 3 for 23. But he made 56 not out. He only bowled 1 over and he took 2 for 7. The player of the match today. A little bit of a round of applause, please, for Rohit Patel. So, Rohit's going to receive his award from Mr. Kiraj Shrestha, the Vice President of the NRNA for Canada. Lovely to see you. We'll let you get out a shot. Rohit, congratulations, mate. So good to see you finish the tour with a win. You've had a really good tour, haven't you? Just maybe the results haven't quite gone your way. You've only actually won 2 games, but do you feel you've played a bit better than that?
Yeah, absolutely. As a team, I think we could have done better than this, especially if you talk about the ODI and T20 series we played here in Canada. As a team, we thought that we could have done better. And yes, there are a lot of things where we need to improve, collective as a team, where we need to step up as a batting unit. And we believe as a team that in coming days we'll work on that and come back stronger in the next series.
You told me the other day that you felt you really had that momentum in 2023, and just with that kind of big gap between wins. I know you're playing against some of the best sides in the world, South Africa and Bangladesh, these teams that you ran so close at the World Cup. You just haven't been able to find those wins. With these 2 wins now, I know we're later into the year, massive tour coming up down in USA. Do you feel like you'll be able to take this momentum into America, beat 2 very good sides down there, USA and Scotland?
Yeah, absolutely. The way you explained that, we played very good sides in 2024. Especially against Bangladesh, South Africa. It's not easy to beat them, especially the way the brand of cricket they play and the way we played against them. I think we showed our skills against them, and it was tough for them to beat us. So I think as a unit we have done very well in 2023. We wanted to do well in 2024. As a team we are doing it, but eventually the results are not coming our way. But still, I think the unit is very calm and positive, and we believe in each other, and we are looking forward to the series against US and Scotland.
Do you feel you're very much still moving in the right direction? Who's kind of driving that belief? Is it yourself and Monty Desai? Also Jagat Tamat, have been great to have him on this tour. What's the kind of discussions been through those difficult days when you've been losing matches?
Yeah, absolutely. When things don't go your way, it's very hard to get motivated to everyone, especially. And the way Monty sir, Jagat Guru, Nandan sir, all our supporting staff helping us, I think they're keeping the environment really calm. So I think that is very important when you're losing. And I think hats off to them, the way they have collectively shown the leadership. And yeah, as you know, the boys are very pumped up to do well, and they're working really hard to get those results. Yeah, we're following the process right, and yeah, we're looking forward to do well.
Bit more on today. What pleased you the most about the performance? Plenty of wickets, and those wickets going to many of your spinners, but the 2 up top for Rijan Dakal were critical as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If you talk about this series, I would take Rijan Dakal as a very positive sign for us, especially with the new ball, the way he's bowling in the power play. It's not easy to bowl those overs, and the way he's getting wickets and keeping the momentum to us throughout the inning. So I think that's a great sign for us. And as a bowling unit, we have been doing well. Just we need support from the batting unit, and we will look forward to do well.
What about this No Frills T20 Cup? We might have to ask you to come up here tomorrow afternoon, because if Oman do you a favour, you could still be lifting that trophy. You'll be keeping a close eye on proceedings?
Yeah, sure, for sure. We'll look at eye on that, but eventually we'll support both the teams. We'd like to have a great game tomorrow. We'd like to wish both the teams good luck and have a good game tomorrow.
Very final question. Sorry, I know I've kept you long, but you're actually going to stay on here in Canada. You're going to play 3 more games and then head down to USA. It's been a long trip for you, but that's a really good thing that you don't have to fly the whole way home and reacclimatise and get back out here. You think that'll stand you in good stead for USA?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good sign for us, especially going back to Nepal and then again coming to the same conditions and same timing. So I think that would be a very tough task for us, and the way we have been staying here and going from here to US, that would be great for us. Especially we are used to the clock now, so I think it's a very good sign for us. And just 7-8 days here, and we want to improve our mistakes and come back stronger in the games against this high performance team, and then in US against Scotland and US.
I'm so pleased you've finished the series with a win. I think you've really deserved it. You've played some good stuff, and I know there's brighter days ahead, not just for you, but for Nepal generally going forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that's Rohit Paudel, the captain of Nepal. It's going to wrap up today's coverage. The No Frills T20 Cup. It all comes down to the final day. Any one of the 3 sides in theory can win it. Maybe though, it's going to be between Nepal and Canada. Canada, they control their own destiny. They need to win tomorrow to win this trophy. Find out if they can do so tomorrow live with us on Stick Sports and Willow TV. We'll be live and on air from 11:45. Action gets going at 12. We'll see you then.